Avengers. My name is Max Stein, and I love video games.
I'm the Mega Buck. I really love video games.
And my name is Raph. I also love video games.
And welcome to the Game Treasure Podcast 2025. Pew, 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 pew. This is the first episode of
Gunfire,
2025, after all, where we talk treasured video games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This week, we bought several fantastic games on Steam over the holidays. So we're going to do a hot Steam grab bag and talk about some of them games that we bought. But first, per tradition, Buck and RetroGameTreasure.com are going to take us back in time with this week's Retro Zone. Hit me, Buck.
Let's go back in time.
Retro
I was really happy doing a handheld, a small game for last episode's Retro Zone, the last one we did. So I thought I'd do another one. Mario Kart 7.
3DS. Yes, 3DS.
Yeah. So for this one, we're going to visit our favorite Gray Puff because it's Kirby's Dream Land for the original Game Boy.
Hey, great game.
Really great game, right?
Yeah.
1992, developed by HAL, which of course
so
Masahiro
early.
Sakurai, made this. Yeah, I mean that was
92.
pretty
Wait,
close
whoa.
to
I would have guessed like 5.
Game
Dang.
Game Boy launch-ish.
Looks great. We've talked about this before, but the art style of this game lends itself to the lower poly or the lower bit consoles.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
NES looks good. Looks good on the Game Boy as well.
yeah. This was Sakurai's debut game. This was the first game that he was the director of.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Even though he'd worked in other
I didn't know
worked
that.
on other games before, this was the first one that he was the boss. It's been original Game Boy obviously, and it's been re-released in a couple of collections like a Virtual Console and the Kirby's Dream Collection on the Wii, different things like that as well too. But damn, if it's not a really cool game with its mechanics and the way that Kirby controls on the Game Boy, it's a joy to play.
Kirby's Dream Land 2 is the one where you have like the 3 homies that are with you in every level, and I don't like that one as much.
Oh, you don't like
That
when
one's
you
got
have friends?
Yeah, you've got the big hamster, you've got a fish, I want to say, and a bird. But
This is such a blind spot for me, honestly.
you take them
I
into the
don't like
levels
Kirby.
with you. This one is much more traditional Kirby. The second one has the Super Game Boy stuff, where if you plug it into a Super Game Boy, it
Right.
has like a special frame that's got like all of his homies in the corners,
Yeah.
Cute.
and it gives it that nice color. But I don't know. I just don't like the whole bringing a person in as a partner thing because I like the whole absorbing people and getting their powers gimmick.
Well,
Just
this was
straight
the
up.
first one. Remember, so unlike the copy abilities in the later game, this one had more traditional power-ups that gave you temporary abilities that you pick up, and so it wasn't quite as what you're used to from all the other Kirby's that you played because it was Kirby's first outing, right? So that kind of
Not in my collection, and I don't know. I'll pick it up probably eventually whenever I have time to play a Kirby game.
Yeah.
It's not a
that.
priority,
It's about a
right?
$20 game, so it's
Yeah.
definitely
That's
one that
not
gets in
bad.
the boxes there too.
Nice.
Very much so.
Oh,
Worth
shit.
noting that it went 30 years with the record of the highest selling Kirby game with just over
Whoa.
5.1 million copies sold. It was not beaten until Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that open worldy one that they made for the Switch just
No
recently.
way.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy.
I haven't played that game either. I want to. That's the one when you suck in the large objects, you become shaped
Cars
like they
and
get like stuck
sewer
in his
pipes and
fucking
shit.
gullet.
I'll be honest with you,
Wow.
like,
Well,
the
So funny.
only Kirby games that I've really played are Kirby's Avalanche, and then when we played the
That's
Nintendo
a puzzle game. That doesn't count.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I've never really like Kirby is just such a gap in my knowledge. Is this like what's the oldest Kirby games? Like this seems like it's pretty back there.
That's
Is
the
it
first
really?
one.
This is the first
No
Kirby
way. It was a Game Boy game before any
game. NES.
console.
Yeah, NES
No
was
way.
immediately after this, I think, the year that came out. Let me see. That was
Well-
92, and then the original Kirby's Adventure was 93 for the NES.
Shit, if that ain't worth $20, I don't know what is.
a piece of history that I should probably now get my hands on, knowing that. Didn't realize
Yeah.
that. Any more fun facts?
Oh, there's lots of fun facts, but that's enough for Kirby.
Alrighty. Well, then let's go ahead and just take our first break already. And when we come back, we will get in the shower and take a hot steam. We'll be right back. Well, la-dee-da, gentlemen. Let's turn on that Steam and let's turn on that sultry music and relax with our favorite gaming platform, Valve's Steam.
Pinky up.
There was a lot of sales between our last hot Steam and now. There was like a winter sale and then a holiday sale, and then there was like there was the Black Friday sale. We haven't done a hot Steam since after that.
Capcom sale going on right now. As of right now, there's a Capcom sale.
We've been accumulating a lot of games over the past month, so we're just going to release them all here in a round robin free for all session here. I will go first with a game that is pretty fucking popular right now that I have some interesting information on, I think. So I'm talking about Marvel Rivals.
Oh yeah.
The new hotness on the internet. Developed and published by who? Don't look. Who developed and published this game?
I have no idea. Marvel Games?
Net something or other. It's like some Chinese company.
It's a Chinese company called NetEase.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was, yeah.
NetEase. I didn't know about this, but here, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
NetEase is a Chinese internet technology company that is one of the largest in the world. NetEase is the largest provider of free email services in China with over 940 million users since 2017.
Well, that is a fun fact.
The company that, or the country that ties all of its like internal security and government and military in with all of its private citizenship. Yeah, these guys have all of the email addresses for everyone, so that's good. So NetEase
and our email addresses now.
Yeah,
right.
So NetEase invested. Here's some other fun facts about NetEase. NetEase invested $100 million into Bungie before it went belly up for a minority stake in that company.
Well, then they get absorbed or bought by Microsoft?
Yeah. That's what I said before they got up. Yeah. And in 2019, NetEase invested a minority share in Quantum Dream, which is a company that makes like all those adventure games like Detroit Become Human and Buck's favorite. What is it? The one where you kill the guy in the beginning in
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And then in 2022, they acquired them outright. So now they're a subsidiary like parent of theirs that they use to basically do console games. NetEase also opened a company called Jackalyptic Games in 2023, and they have a exclusive partnership with Games Workshop. Didn't know that. So let's actually talk about this Marvel Rivals game.
You skipped over the part where they distributed all of the Chinese Blizzard games in Japan.
Why are you okay? So you gotta let me. So it is a 6v6 hero shooter that is is disparaged as an Overwatch clone, but fuck you for disparaging it, because it turns out it's one of the best Overwatch clones because NetEase has partnered with Blizzard Entertainment to operate Chinese versions of its games since 2008.
Wow.
So these guys have been making Blizzard clones for 15 years. So the reason this game is so good is because they've been doing this for a while, turns out.
That's weird. I guess I don't know enough about game development. How does that work? Do they just
They launched an American studio that's led by Bethesda and BioWare veterans out in Washington.
Whoa.
And they basically work with them to do like the US server work and all of the porting shit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get at, because they don't have to actually port the game to PC. It's already a PC game,
just
so it's not like they ported it to console.
Yeah.
So do they operate like Asian servers and just localize the whole thing?
They work with the fucking servers that we have here, as I presume. You know what I mean? They don't make us connect to Chinese servers.
I guess in my head I'm thinking of other games that do that, like Final Fantasy 14, for example. They don't have another company that operates their North American servers, like they get them from a server farm and they pay for. I think they have their own servers.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how this works.
This is a totally different ball game here.
So the game itself follows a hostile meeting between two versions of Doctor Doom, the 2099 Doctor Doom and the regular Doctor Doom, and you guys got to fight over it. Nobody cares because the game, more importantly, the gameplay is really awesome, and it has 33 characters in it. already.
At launch.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
mind-blowing.
it came out in
beta.
December 6th. I think they've only added Squirrel Girl.
How
So
many
it just like
characters were in Overwatch?
Voiced by the AT&T commercial actress.
so cool, so
Yeah.
good. Because remember, people wanted her to be Squirrel Girl in real life.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, it is an impressive roster of characters, and like they stuck the landing with the designs of them. They all
Right.
look really cool. It's got like this Blizzard-esque, like Blizzard makes like their graphics kind of look
They
like
have an-
Pixar and
They
shit.
have an in-house style that
And they copy it
definitely fits
to a
in.
nice
copied.
effect. Yeah.
Right. It looks
Um,
fantastic. It's,
It
like
does.
the roster, like, so because Overwatch, how many characters did that start out with? Like, I was just like curious to
16 or
see, like,
something.
I'm about to say
16.
maybe, just
so
over
it's starting
a
with
dozen?
twice as many characters. That's
I don't know.
insane. And they could just
Right,
only
because it'd
go
be
up.
4 of each.
They could
4
add
of each
more.
category or whatever, something like that. Or yeah, it's way more. It's way more. And I'm just gonna say it. Having it be IP that I already know just makes me like it more. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
Like
It's why Concord failed. No one cared about the characters enough to even give it a
Right.
try. Gameplay could have been phenomenal in that game, but no
Right.
one's going to play it if they don't care about your characters. And Marvel has that built in. They
Well,
don't
And
have
Overwatch
Overwatch-
also
characters.
had like the issue of being a $40 game and having in-game like monetization transactions and stuff like that.
This is a
game
free
doesn't,
game.
you know?
I didn't mention
Right.
that, but you can just download this bad boy and freaking play as Iron Man, like and Captain America.
You mean Symmetra?
People that you love. Yeah, I mean, when Overwatch first came out, I liked those characters too, but it was easier because the market wasn't flooded with these types of games yet.
Yeah.
And
Right,
so it was
exactly.
like, oh, okay, I'm playing as somebody named Tracer, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's much cooler to be like, I'm fucking Star-Lord.
Star-Lord is
Straight
Tracer
up.
with that can
Yeah,
fly.
exactly. Yeah.
Give me Cyclops already, all right? Just give me fucking
So they've already
Cyclops.
started to leak the next batch of characters, I think, which includes Deadpool, Cyclops.
Cool.
What was the next
Give
one?
me more
Oh, shoot.
X-Men, you know?
There were. Well, I'm sure they'll tie
Storm's
that
in it.
into
Yeah.
bringing out more X-Men movies, right?
Right, exactly.
There was
Ooh,
one
that
or
would be
two others
cool.
I think that they already have teased and been data mined as well that are coming out pretty soon. The I really enjoy the character team ups, the team up special abilities.
Yeah.
which is
I was
neat.
going to talk
Yeah.
about some of the ways that it differs from Overwatch because but this is one of them. So it's got these permanent team ups and seasonal buffs. So what the permanent team up abilities are basically is like they're just characters that when they're on a team with each other, they get like a whole ass extra power.
One of them gets an
Sometimes
ability, yeah.
Sometimes they'll get passive buffs. One example would be like if Scarlet Witch and Magneto are on a team, Magneto just gets another power where he can transform into like a melee version of himself. And then there's like another one where it's just like if Hulk and Wolverine on a team, Hulk can just like
They can do a
throw
speedball.
Wolverine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
fastball
so
special.
cool.
Yeah, fastball special, yeah.
Yeah, those are really something where I'm like, oh, this is
That's cool.
Overwatch didn't have this, so this makes this. Yeah, I have something in my what else you got that reminds me of this, where I was like, this is different enough from its copy to actually be like feel like a different thing. It's different enough for me to be like, ooh, I like this.
The couple extra things, well, on that as well too. The fact that it says it's seasonal, which is like a built-in way they're going to change the game between seasons.
The seasonal buffs are a little bit different than the permanent team up, but they can definitely add more team up. The seasonal buffs, there's little characters that will have an icon by their portrait, and if they have that, they have the seasonal buff, and the seasonal buff just gives them a very small percentage increase of the thing that they do. So like attackers get if they have the seasonal buff, they get like plus 10% damage. If you're the defender and you have the seasonal buff, you get like an extra like 25% max health or something like this.
Gotcha.
And then the healers or the supporters can like heal for a very small amount extra.
Mm-hmm.
But those rotate with the season, so it's it makes
That's
like
cool.
little tiny metas here and there, but without being too, because the buffs are not too crazy big, so it's like reasonable. But yeah, I like that. Let's see, one other way it differs from Overwatch that is really obvious when as soon as you start the game is that it's in third person.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I like it. I think
yes.
I think me and Buck have had this conversation about the difference between, but like what's it? PUBG was the first game they invented the first person mode in PUBG, and it was like, oh, absolutely not. And then it was like, why not? And it was like, because I can't fucking see anything. Like, why would I ever want to play this?
My field of vision by like 30%.
I can only operate in first person shooters when information is a really valuable tool. which is why like I can do hunt a little tiny bit.
Sure. I see.
Because
That
I
makes
can,
sense.
I may not excel in the shooting, but if I can gather a bunch of information, I can be in the right place. I can attack the right person, you know, and these kinds of things. And so having the extra field of view makes like spotting the healer, for example, so much easier because you can, you know, so much more room to be like, there she is. All right, I'm going to try these long end shots here.
See, I'm more in the camp. I prefer first-person games when it comes to shooters, but this game doesn't really feel like a shooter. You know, like it's
it's a hero shooter, quote unquote,
and it feels so good. And also, I mean, honestly, like, dude, third person, I just want to see my character. Like, I want to see how my fucking, you know, I want to see fucking Psylocke.
That's the genius part.
Like,
I can see my own skin.
Right. Dude.
Instead of just seeing the hands of it and then doing an emote to see it, you're just always being like, I look so cool as Captain America.
That's how Fortnite works. You can see yourself, right? And so you buy a skin, you can see the skin.
You are so right.
I could be the Xenomorph.
The game is free. If they're going to sell the stuff,
you want to see it.
Yeah, you want to see it, not just, hey, check it out. My friends look at it thing. That's why.
The problem with Cyberpunk is that you could buy all these skins, but then you couldn't see your character because it was never in third person. Yeah, right.
Let's see. There's some other differences I was going to say.
I do. One other thing, destructible levels.
Yes. So cool.
Really, really cool. They are.
Have you looked at the X-ray vision to see what you can destroy?
Oh, no. What?
So when you're playing the game, if you hit the B key on keyboard, I don't know what it is on controller, it will show you what can be destroyed and what cannot.
So when you destroy shit, after a set amount of time, it repairs itself.
It will, yes.
Which is really cool. I don't know. It's just such a smart idea where it's just like destructible levels. Yes. What would be the problem? Well, if I was the team defending, I would just destroy all the cover immediately, and then you'd be fucked as the attacking team.
Right.
Even if you did destroy it all, you just wasted a bunch of time destroying some shit that's gonna respawn in a few minutes. And if no one was in there to make it worth it for you, you just wasted a bunch of time. And
a thing that would happen a lot in like Overwatch is on those push the payload levels, there'd be like a bridge where like a tracer or someone or a Widowmaker could hide and pop in out of the building. In this game, you can just destroy the bridge, and you got like 60
Hulk
seconds
just
of
fucking
no bridge.
leaps into the air and then comes slamming down on it, and the whole fucking building comes crumbling down. You're like, let's fucking go. It makes the characters who have the power to destroy shit like that have an extra level of coolness. Fact, not that they're cooler than the others, but it's just like
use.
It's a very hard to describe thing to be like, I'm the Hulk. And if they didn't have destructible levels, you'd be like, yeah, I'm still this strong character. And I can, I do a lot of damage and I have a lot of health. But it's just like, what if you could blow the buildings up? Okay, now I feel like the Hulk. You're like,
and there's some levels, in just like in any hero shooter, when you die, you respawn, you have to run back to where the action is.
Right.
There's a handful of places where you could punch a hole in a wall and get there faster.
Fun, which again just makes you feel strong like in a way that doesn't have to affect the game like competition wise, where it's just like, no, you're so OP because you can break the walls. It's like, no, it's fine.
Right. Everybody can. Just Star-Lord takes, 3 clips worth of bullets to do it, and Hulk takes like 1 or 2 punches.
Yeah, or Thor can just throw his hammer right through that shit.
What are y'all's mains? What's y'all's favorite characters?
Hold on, I have just a couple more things I wanted to cover here.
Let the host, would you? We're
not every hero. This is one way that it differs in Overwatch. Not every hero has the same number of powers, which is interesting.
Right.
So in Overwatch, everyone's got the Q and the E and then a shift, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right.
With Q being like their ultimate or whatever. In this, everyone can have up to 3 abilities. It's a shift, an E, and an F, and they have a Q.
Mm-hmm.
But then like some people can fly, for example. And so it's like press and hold the space bar as Iron Man to fly.
Iron Man can fly. Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword for me because on one hand, that's really fucking cool because then it's like, it just gives them more opportunity to make characters feel like how they should. But then it's just like when you're trying to start a new character, you kind of need to go into the practice mode because
you do.
I jumped in as Captain America and it's just like, oh man, he has more powers than the guy I was playing as before. And then I realized that when you jump in the air with one of his powers, all of his powers transform into a different thing. And I was like, oh shit. So I was like, I'm gonna switch back to Magneto really quickly.
You know what? It gives such a versatility to the game because it really, Spider-Man and Captain America should not have the same amount of abilities because Captain America is going to have a ground pound and a shield toss and like a punch or a flying kick, right? And Spider-Man's going to have a web thwip and he's going to have a spider sense and he's going to have a swing and he's going to have this. Like they're going to have maybe 1 or 2 different.
Right.
It allows them
Bucky,
as developers.
you got the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
This is a guy with a gun. And then you have who's the Adam
Adam Warlock.
Adam
Yeah.
Warlock, who's
Yeah.
like this
He's a
god
healer
entity. He's gonna have a couple
he's
more
mercy.
powers than
he's
the
mercy
guy with
Right,
other
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But it gives the devs the availability to balance the game a whole lot more because they're not limited to, well, you have 3 and you have 3. So how do we balance these 2 out? Because you always have the same amount of moves.
Right. Oh, this guy's got a weak one. I guess we got to do some buffing and nerfing. It's like, just give him another one. Just give him like another weak one and it'll balance it
Or
out.
take that one away from him and then it balances him with these 3 other guys.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's great.
I think it is as well. So now those are pretty much all the differences I have. Do you have any other ones, Buck?
Differences between the two. Let me see. It doesn't have roll lock, which was added later in Overwatch when it became 5v, even when it was 6v6 and 5v5.
What's that again?
Roll lock is where you had to have when they made it 6v6, you had to have 2 healers, 2 tanks, and 2 DPS.
Yeah,
and then when it was 5, you had to have like 1, 2, and 2. And so this has none of that, which when you're not queuing up with your friends can be a bit of a problem, you know. I want to be the DPS. Well, I want to be the DPS.
Everyone's DPS, yeah.
Well, we ran into that earlier where it was
did.
oh, yeah, you can't get enough healers in the group, or you need a tank because nobody wants to play the tank or whatever. Everyone's
Healer,
DPS.
but the cool thing there is in real hero shooters, until that happened with Overwatch, that is when you have your crap together, that's a gameplay mechanic. If you are being pushed hard with heavy attackers, if you go more tank and healer, then you can hold the point as long as you want. You might not push it back, you might not kill them, but you can hold it. So it's a counter play, it's a chess move, that hero shooters have uniquely, compared to a lot of other games, and they kind of took it away from Overwatch when that was their way to balance the game.
I found that they're really less healers and more of a support class because like Rocket Raccoon is a support character, and he doesn't specialize in healing you. He specializes in making everyone do way more damage, and then he has one revive ability, not his Q. He just straight up brings someone back to life with this very long counter on his
Loki
E.
is a healer, and his heal is he can throw out illusionary images of himself, and then once every 30 seconds they can all do an AoE heal, including himself. But his big kicker is that he can camouflage himself, and he can like one-hitter backstab when he's camouflaged. So he's also like a backline murderer.
It's such an interesting choice. They have a couple other interesting choices as far as Doctor Strange is like a tank, like he's in the tank category. He's like in the same category as like Thor and Captain America, and the
Magneto.
way that he does it is that he's just got like this massive shield that he can
Reinhardt.
pull out. Yeah. I mean, because Magneto has a little Reinhardt shield. Captain America obviously has a little, like a decent Reinhardt shield, but like Doctor Strange's is huge, and he has a power that he is like his ultimate is like to make a portal that your entire team can jump through, like in order to like push a point suddenly.
People play with that.
It's an interesting choice. Interesting choice.
It's kind of like some other games we play, but there's a lot of parallels between. It's like our UFO 50 coming up in the Patreon episode. There's a lot of parallels between characters from Overwatch and this, and it's not a big deal. They're going to steal some ideas and whatnot. But it was so funny because you heard about how they gave them shit because Black Widow is a lot like Widowmaker, and they're like, you guys copied, Widowmaker with Black Widow, and Marvel's like, really?
I'm like, Black Widow's been around since like the 60s.
Well, not even that. Widowmaker copied Black Widow initially with come on, really?
Like the character's been around since the 60s. Widowmaker's obviously a black.
What is this? The Street Fighter Art of Fighting lawsuit? Like go away.
Yeah, dumbasses. All right, so we can talk about our favorite characters now that we've discussed some of the interesting themes. I usually in Overwatch I like to play as Reinhardt because I think I've said this before somewhere. I don't know, but on this podcast, I don't know what episode, but the idea that the shield is my main play. You know what I mean? Not having to keep up with the aiming and more just having the overall understanding of which direction I need to be blocking and things like that. So in this game, I played as Magneto. He's a tank that has a big Reinhardt-like shield. And he also has like some support abilities, and he's a ranged attacker. He kind of reminds me of in the Pokemon MOBA, Slowbro is a tank, and he's sort of half tank, half support. So Magneto can put a shield on either himself or one of his allies. And then he's got some pretty strong, like left and right click shots that he can do. And then his ultimate is just like he flies up in the air and shoots a big ass bomb on the ground. A lot of people have that. And then he has a team up power with Scarlet Witch, like I said, where he gets this mode that he can turn into where he turns red and he gets like a sword that he can swing around that also shoots a projectile. So you can just like get a very short amount of time to fuck people up.
That's funny because I love Magneto the character and I tried him first and he is not my gameplay style.
He's incredibly slow. He has a float. And there's a decent amount of verticality in this game. And so being able to float down is nice. But I think that when I just played with Buck before we got on, and I had a 15 kill, 0 death game with Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
you did Winter Soldier fucking
I haven't tried him yet.
Ass. He's a DPS, and it's one of those things where when you pick the DPS, you're kind of like, is it okay? Can I take it? You know what I mean? But like, bro, Winter Soldier has a move that's like a Warthog style grappling hook. So you can pull healers out of a group fight or like pull a tank away from a group fight. And then he has like a shift button that's like a uppercut, kind of like the big fist guy from Overwatch. What was his name? Doomfist or whatever?
Yeah.
So he's got like a punch that'll launch people up in the air and stun them. The grappling hook, and then like a red bomb that just like goes through people. So it just goes in a line and it'll hit anybody in the line until it hits a wall.
That's cool.
And then his ultimate is a jump in the air and then slam down on the ground and do a bunch of damage to people around. And his regular gun is just this extremely strong pistol that just goes through like the entire level. So I just like sit in the back line and just kind of do some peeking and pop for headshots. And then if some shit's going down, I'll swoop around to the backside, pull the healer out, and then fucking uppercut him and kill him, and then swoop back around. Dude, it was fun.
That's pretty cool. Punisher you might like too as well. He's kind of like Soldier 76, but his ult is like he throws out a turret and he just can shoot from this
Punisher,
yeah. And he shoots like this from this shielded moving turret, and he can just rotate and shoot shit.
Who do you like to play as, Buck?
So when I first played, I wanted to try a couple different classes there. I tried Loki at first, which I liked at the beginning, but then like you said, I realized he's more of a support than a healer. So you have to have another main healer like a Jeff or someone else there as well too. Right. I will say his ult is he copies someone else for 30 seconds.
Which is really cool.
Including having access to their ult. Immediately because he had his ult. So that's you turn into Jeff and you swallow them all. You turn into a tank or whatever else too. But I kind of floated away from him when I had to try tanks. I really enjoyed Venom. I like that he's very beefy. And if you use his swing at the right time, you can make it so you can disrupt it so they can't shoot you for a few moments, which gives you times to build your shield back up. He has like this absorption shield where if you pop it, the more damage you take, the more your shield is building. So you get stronger by getting hit, which is really cool.
Really cool.
When I play DPS, I've enjoyed playing Star-Lord a lot. He's like Tracer, but with aerial mobility instead of the time traveling thing, and his ult is way better. He has like a lock on. I tell you who my favorite character is I've been playing as, and that is someone who I have no fucking clue who they are in the Marvel universe. And that's Luna Snow.
Raph, do you know who Luna Snow is?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know this character either.
She's somewhere in Iron Fist's universe because she has a team up with Iron Fist, rather.
So
Iron Fist is disgusting, by the way, if you've tried him.
Yeah. I haven't yet.
He is rude how much he gets in your face. So Luna Snow... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I forgot to mention, Bucky has a team up with Rocket Raccoon.
Oh.
It's actually a three-way, either the Punisher, or I should say both the Punisher and Winter Soldier have a thing where Rocket Raccoon can, if he's like next to them, he presses a button and he gives them infinite ammo in their gun and it increases their rate of fire.
Oh, wow.
So they never have to reload.
That's
you can
funny.
just like pop, 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 pop.
Rocket Raccoon has a team up. Him and Jeff have a team up with Groot. Where they can ride on his back.
Yeah.
But so I don't know who Luna Snow is, but I wanted to try a healer, and she's basically Lucio from Overwatch, but with a better gun. She has lots of she has AoE healing as her super. She can switch between a buff or AoE healing, and it's disgusting to hold a point. Like you have to get Scarlet Witch ult or Iron Man ult to stop it. But her regular attacks are like shooting shards of ice. And if she hits a friend, she heals them. She hits an enemy, she does damage. And once every like 20 seconds, she can do an ability where it turns into like an actual like ice pick, and it'll go through everybody. So it'll like heal friend, go through and hurt a bad guy,
enemy.
whatnot. She has a little, like you said, everybody has a little thing that can lob out like a grenade thing. She has one though. She hits someone, she freezes them solid for like 2-3 seconds.
So helpful.
Which is awesome if you can
freeze them
hit
off
it.
the
So
point and shit.
she's just a lot of fun. She's really, to keep people alive, like she does a really great job. And I've had the same thing. I've had games where I've gotten 20 assists and no deaths and gotten MVP with the healer.
Hell yeah. Raph, who have you like playing as? I know you haven't played very much.
Yeah, I haven't played too much. I did get to try like a few characters. The first time I played, I think I jumped in as Wolverine, and I wasn't actually super into it. I want to jump back and try it again because it was my first time playing, so I really had no idea what I was doing.
He's a style. I've seen people play Wolverine and just get in and not know how to use his regeneration abilities and not stay alive.
Right.
And I've seen others where they combo well with a healer like a Jeff or a Luna Snow, and they just can stay on the point and stay alive forever.
And
it's like one of those situations where you're like, kill the Mantis, kill the Luna Snow. They're healing Wolverine constantly, and he will never die.
Just point Wolverine in a direction. But I went from Wolverine. I tried Iron Man, and I was like, this is pretty cool. I like being able to fly up into the air and just peg things from the sky.
He's like Symmetra.
But today I think I discovered my character, and that's straight up Psylocke. Like Psylocke.
Oh yes,
dude. My favorite moment was like, like Mac was like, go get the healer, and then like I went invisible, snuck up behind everybody, and then like shot the healer from the back. Yeah. And I did the same thing with Venom. Like I caught Venom at low health, and I was invisible. I just went up behind him, and I used my melee attack, which is my katana, and just one hit, he was down.
Yeah, she's really. Yeah, she can be nasty if you can use her right.
Her ult is just like kill everything in this circle for a while, basically.
Exactly.
Scarlet Witch's ult is kill. It's like literally erase everything in this small AoE around me from existence. It insta kills everybody close by her. Yeah, she literally House of M's everybody around her.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, she's a DPS, right? I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta try her out. Actually, she seems like she's pretty fun to play.
It'd be kind of interesting. We could team up with Magneto, and then you get that extra power.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
I love Rocket Raccoon.
Team-ups, man. I love the team ups. It's so cool.
It's a really fun idea. It's such a
when you're
smart
in the
idea.
lobby selecting your character, you can click a button to request a team up. Like, hey, I'm gonna pick Rocket Raccoon. Someone please pick Groot. It'll give them a ping.
I want to give Magic a try too, because she's like one of my favorite mutants.
Great design on her.
Yeah,
she's really beefy. It's funny. I didn't read a lot of Marvel comics after she had been introduced a whole lot. She was in that Marvel Midnight Suns game that I played earlier this year, the end of last year, and I ended up using her a lot. Oh man, making portals and knocking people through that.
And just like it's fun. Like it was about a demon that has escaped whatever, and she's like a knight and shit.
She's a great character. She's part of the New Mutants, and I'm a big fan of the New Mutants, especially like the last run of New Mutants. It was pretty sick, and she's fucking fantastic. That's why I kind of want to get into it. I want to like play that character. It seems fun.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Marvel Rivals for a long time. The only thing we didn't touch on really is the game modes, but they're the exact same as in Overwatch. There's a push the point, there's a King of the Hill, and then there's a defend 3 points in a row kind of type deal. But yeah, it's fun. We're probably gonna play it some more. Buck, what games do you want to talk about today? You got something?
Man, I bought during the Steam sale, rip my wallet. I bought a lot of games, some gifted from you guys, which is cool. The ones that I bought for myself were, I picked up Metal Slug Tactics because it was on sale $5 off. Because
dude, that game is fantastic.
I picked up Indivisible, which was an RPG that I think I own physically like 1 or 2 times over, but it was like $3 on Steam. Like, good, now I'll finally play it because don't play my Switch nearly as much anymore. Picked up Metaphor Refantasio for Christmas, started playing that. That game is freaking amazing. It's Persona minus all the high school bullshit and just a nice medieval setting. I'm loving it so far. I also got a head start on my New Year's resolution, if you guys listened to last week's episode, and that was to play FMV games every month. Well, most of the FMV games on Steam were on sale during the Christmas sale.
Nice.
So I picked up The Gallery. I picked up Her Story. I picked up Tex Murphy, the Pandora Detective, which is an older point and click style. Like it like looks like, Phantasmagoria or one of those games. I picked up Press X Not to Die, which is,
that one looks fun.
Yeah, that one looks really fun. The one I'm the most excited about was one that came out last year from Wales Interactive, and that is the Isle Tide Hotel. Check out this synopsis. Explore a mysterious hotel and infiltrate a cult in this FMV detective game featuring a cast from Game of Thrones, The Witcher, and more.
Ooh,
every decision counts as
good actors.
You gather clues and question guests.
Hell yeah.
That one looks really neat.
Well, I do know for Buck's turn that I did purchase him a game for Christmas as well that we can just talk about really quickly, which is Liar's Bar.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about it before Raph, we take your turn because you've got some good ones.
Yeah.
Liar's Bar, the multiplayer Twitch-friendly gambling game where you play as a bunch of animals that commit suicide.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
The first time we played and they're all doing the Russian roulette with the guns, I was just like, hiding my eyes. I didn't want to see the...
So yeah, it's 1 to 4 players. You guys pick either dice or cards to play. It's a how to summarize the game quickly. The card one, every round of play there is a card that is like the table card. So let's say it's the king or something. You're working with a deck of cards that's just face cards and a joker. So if the table card is king, basically everyone takes turns proclaiming that they are putting down kings,
right?
Whether they are or aren't. So it'll be like, if the table card is kings, it's my turn first. I could have a hand with no kings in it, and so now I have to put down any number of cards I want, and then say like those are kings or that is a king, and then the next person who goes can call me a liar, which will cause me to have to reveal the card that I play. If I was lying, I then put a gun to my head, a revolver with 6 shots available with 1 bullet in it, and you pull the trigger, and if it goes off, you fucking die and lose. If you did put down the thing, if you weren't lying, the person who called you out for being a liar has to do the very same thing. Just goes in a circle like that. So you draw a certain number of cards at the start. So you try to do math basically to figure out like, okay, at this point, even if everyone was lying, there's no mathematical way that anyone has any kings left, and then you're still wrong. But
because they lied in earlier rounds, and now they're telling the truth.
That's really fun. And then in the dice one, everyone rolls like Yahtzee style dice simultaneously, and then the person who begins sets an ante, so to speak. That's their guess at like. Having a certain number of face dice on the table amongst everyone. Yeah. So you could say like on the table, I bet there's at least 4 4s, or I bet there's at least 2
is what
2s.
You have.
You obviously only see your own dice, so you're basically saying based off of what I have, what are the odds that they have at least maybe 1 more. You can elect to vary this ante and like how many, like 3 4s, 4 4s. You need to kind of start low though, because the ante can never go down. It either has to be the same number called or higher. So if you like start out the game with your dice and you have 2 3s, you do not want to be like, there's probably 6 3s on the table, because if you're wrong, like you can only go up. It's hard to explain. You have to play it, but you drink poison in that one, and if you drink 2 things of poison, you die. It's the same liar calling mechanic. There's multiple game modes for each of those 2 games.
Right.
So there's like a devil mode for the card game, where there's like a wild card that if you get called on it, like all your enemies have to put the guns to their head. There's like a chaos mode in the card game one, where like you can point your gun at people to shoot them. Right. And then the dice mode has like an advanced mode to it as well, where you can call this thing that's like on the money, where if you can get it like right on the money, that there are like, I know that there are 4 4s on the table and you are exactly right, then both of your enemies have to drink poison. Not much to this one other than it's a fun time trying to guess when Buck is lying, because it's just like, it's so hard.
It's a fun time watching Matt guess that I'm lying every round and be wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
But not all the time.
Yeah.
We play a lot of... Sorry.
No, I was just going to say this one was cheap. I think it was like $5.50 or something.
Less than $6.
Yeah.
Worth it. Very worth it. We play a lot of hidden identity board games. We have a board game night that we still play every Sunday night, and there's a lot of ones in our repertoire, like Avalon, Secret Hitler, Werewolf. Those
this
kinds
even
of things.
reminded me of Sheriff of Nottingham a little bit.
Yeah, that's a really good parallel.
Another game that I am
sneak by
absolutely
contraband.
garbage at because I'm just like, I don't know, why would he? How can you
I
differentiate?
love social deduction games. Yeah,
that's
it fits
part
right
of
in
fun.
that category.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a bunch of mini rounds of what would he do if I was him, and then like you said though, Mac, like we had 3 or 4 rounds in a row where I kept getting jokers. Jokers are a wild card. Yeah. And so if you are doing math and saying, well, I have 3 kings, he couldn't have more than 3 kings because there's only 6 in this special deck. He's got to be lying at this point. And then the other player has a joker, which is a wild card.
Yeah.
Turns out it didn't have to.
Yeah, that's cool. Raph, go ahead and take your turn. What have you purchased on Steam recently?
Oh man, too many. I guess new games though. I played a couple of games that came out this year. Some that came out this month. But last night I played a game called Nuclear Nightmare.
Ooh.
This game is essentially John Carpenter's The Thing as a game. You are dropped into a Antarctic, zone, I guess, like this, like research station, and it's
North
a big
Pole
map.
Shit.
What's up?
Some North Pole shit.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is a huge map too. Like you have a large area that you have to explore, and there's mechanics on like temperature, so you can actually freeze to death out in the snow.
Oh, wow.
And there is just, you have to go in and find classified materials, and you have a time limit before there's a nuclear bomb that gets dropped on the area.
Missed that part when I was watching my friends play last night.
Right, yeah, there's a certain time limit. You have to get all this stuff done in, and you have to extract with a helicopter. Now, the other thing is that there are aliens on the map as well. There's these monsters that we jumped in yesterday, me and my buddies Danny and Nick, just kind of messing around with it, not really knowing at all what we were doing. And we started exploring. We find some items. I have a flamethrower, and we're just walking through the snow, and we're like, shit, man, like we're starting to freeze out here. We find some like snowmobiles. So we hop on the snowmobiles, go to the next like location, find like a generator that we had to start up. We tried to fly a helicopter that we found there, crashed it. It was funny. We broke the helicopter, got out of it. And then we were like, well, let's just start hoofing it, because I guess the snowmobiles were out of fuel. So as we're hoofing it, I'm like, it's getting dark. Like I start seeing my temperature like going down, and I'm like, shit, it's actually starting to turn nighttime. Like this is getting a little spooky. And then I look back, and as I look back, I see the most horrifying alien, just weird big head, crazy tentacles just running through the snow at us. And I'm like, guys, run. So we just started running through the
snow. Grab the flamethrower.
Yeah, I have the flamethrower. I start fucking throwing the flamethrower back. And eventually we find like a little outpost. We hide in a building, and me and my buddy Nick are just sitting there like, I still hear it outside. And then all of a sudden the door explodes open, and this thing is in the room throwing tentacles everywhere. I started with the flamethrower, and yeah, like we panicked. I died. It was good stuff. The game does need a little bit of optimization. It's an early access, but the bones of a good game are there, I think. It's got a cool atmosphere. I mean, like I said, that whole like situation where I found myself, we were hiking in the snow, and we were like, where are we going? And it's just like a blizzard kicking up. We're freezing to death. Like I said, cool ideas, needs work. But
do the items spawn in the same places every time, or is it randomized to?
I think it's randomized.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
It kind of reminds me almost like of a non-asymmetrical Friday the 13th, that game that Buck used to play.
Rip in peace.
You gotta go around this big map and try to find the
weird.
Items that you need, and then go to the place where you use the items to escape, all while trying not to get killed by Jason.
For me, it really reminded me of like something like Lethal Company, or like that style of game. But then like if you mix it with something like Hunt, where you have like a large map that a really big map. I'm talking like the Lethal Company maps are like fairly small, and then you have the inside facility that's random. This is like a large outpost like facility.
They give you snowmobiles to traverse between them, right?
That's how
exactly.
You have to fill them with gas.
You have to fill them with
grab
fuel.
gas cans. You have to
exactly. Yeah,
it's all first person.
It's all first person. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
so
combat
it's not a survival game in the build stuff sense, but it has surviving aspects.
Right. You have to survive. You have to find the things that you need to find, the MacGuffins, and then escape with them.
Get off in the helicopter or whatever.
Right. Really cool game.
It's funny. We have I have a board game version of The Thing, of John Carpenter's The Thing, and this is basically a board game version of this game.
Yeah. The other game I played,
Identities too,
which was honestly, I think, really like the coolest thing that I've played in a long time. I played this. If you watched my stream on Sunday, I guess last Sunday as of this airing, but I played Cabin Factory. Dude,
it was crazy. Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. This game, it scared the piss out of me several times. It has
rightfully so.
Yeah. Really great atmosphere for being such a simple game, and the jump scares.
$2 game, $3 game.
Try to explain, how it plays, because it's
quite So with Cabin Factory, you are an old lady for some reason.
To your mic.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but like as soon as you start, you see yourself in a mirror. You're some old lady. You go into this facility and you are presented with a series of cabins. You're given one, and then you have to go into the cabin
on a conveyor belt.
Right. Yeah, it's a big factory
where they manufacture
it's so funny.
Whole cabins.
And you have to go into the cabin and you have to determine if this cabin is haunted.
That's your job.
Right. And the way that you determine it's haunted is by if you see basically if anything is moving in the cabin, then that means it's haunted. So there are certain things that are kind of always there. Like there's certain, like the standard default cabin is you go inside, there's the painting of the lady.
Terrifying lady.
Yeah, terrifying lady in the painting. If you go down the hall, there's a guy sitting at a table eating, but he's just sitting there motionless.
Depressed Russian man,
super scary,
smoking a cigarette into a bowl of soup. Yep.
Right, exactly. And then when you go upstairs, there's a small child with a blanket over its head and a toy next to a TV. Now, those aren't the only characters that you run into.
What kind of cabins are they manufacturing in this place?
Russian terrifying ones. Yeah,
right.
Terrifying Siberian cabins. There's also a little girl, too, that doesn't really always present herself. Sometimes you find her hiding under the stairs, which is super creepy when you're going up the stairs and you see her eyes poking out like underneath there.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope. Or there was the one where I ended up having to go, like I went to leave and I couldn't, and I had to go into the basement to leave.
Yes. Because to clarify too, the way when you determine if something is haunted or not, you have to go outside.
Yes.
You have to exit the cabin, and there is a panel that just has like a big green button or a big red button. And
if it's haunted, you hit the red button.
If it's not haunted, you hit green, and that one goes away. The next one just comes right out the thing, and you just got to go right the fuck back in.
My favorite jump scare, and I'll talk about this one because it got me real good. If you guys saw the stream, I screamed real loud when this happened. Yeah. So I go into the house. And first, there was two different instances that kind of like added to the spook factor of this. I go in, and the guy is not at the table. I look, and I see he's in the window right in front of me. So I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. He's outside of the cabin. I better, I look around. It's not haunted. Nothing's moving. So I leave. Not haunted. Whatever. I get the next cabin. I go into the cabin, and now this time there's nobody at the window, but the man is not at the table either. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. So I'm like, nothing's moving. It's not haunted. So I start going out and I go to hit the button and I realize there's no button there. And that's when I hear footsteps running up behind me. I turn around. He runs up to me, tries to kill me. I scream and I die.
That shit was scary.
Yeah, that shit was scary. That's
that
like
me.
Someone said like straight up lizard brain scare. And that really was. That's what it was. It's just like triggering my lizard brain.
When you came out to the panel and there was no buttons.
Nothing there.
It was just like the panel was gone.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
That was cool.
It was some myhouse.wad shit. Right. Where it was like, but, and then turning around to just the guy running full speed at you. It was like, oh shit, whoa.
You were still trapped in the
now.
cabin.
Yeah.
This game is still in early access, so I will give some caveats that I think I ran into a bug as I was playing. If you guys watched the stream at the end of it, I started getting I'd go in and the house was nothing was moving in it. I would spend sometimes a few minutes really looking around. Nothing was happening. And every time that I'd go out, it would say that it was haunted. Even if I go in and I saw absolutely nothing, I started just picking haunted and it was always right.
Raph, I missed the beginning of the stream. Does it give you the criteria as to what haunted air quotes means? Like, does it have to be things moving or?
I think so.
That's the very vague clue they give you, which is, I think, purposeful.
Okay.
Because Raph for a while was thinking if things in the house
are different,
in a different spot, it moved, quote unquote. Right. No.
Okay.
They literally mean if something is moving. So it requires you to have to, even if it's like Raph turned around and there's like a teddy bear in a spot that is normally not there, and he just like good, and just like shot outside and just like haunted, and it was like no, it just scared you. It just it wasn't actually haunted.
There was one scary. There was one that I went into the house and the entire family was all standing in the living room staring at me with these really wide smiles with their teeth showing. It wasn't haunted. It was scary as fuck, but it wasn't haunted.
So they do stuff like that to make it to where you come in and something's fucked up and you have to press on because you're just like, that's fine. I'll just keep making sure nothing is nothing weird's happening.
The cabin's not very big. It's like basically one tiny connected room and the little upstairs room. That's pretty much it.
There was one scare that I kept getting. That's the other thing, that bug at the end. I kept getting the same scare, which was the model of the house.
Yeah.
And that one's weird. So that one kept getting me because I wasn't sure what I was looking for. But if you walk up to the model of the house, there's a bunch of little like figurines in the model, and they're patrolling. They're the people, right? And you can tell who's who too, because it's the little girl. You could see the character has like a little blonde like wig on, but like they walk back and forth. And I thought they were gonna chase after me, but they don't. They just patrol back and forth. And if you hit them, you die. So you have to
soldiers.
Yeah, you have to like observe their pattern, and then try to bolt out of the house when there's a gap to escape in. And that was really tough, actually. I had a really hard time.
But you can't physically see them. You can only see them on the little model of the house.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
They're invisible. So you have to observe their movements and then go back and try to like remember, okay, so this is all free. I can move in this direction now.
So do you think that there was a loop of a bug, or do you think it wanted you to like progress past that part before it let you out?
I don't know.
You kept getting stuck there. You kept getting killed and getting stuck.
Yeah, but then like, I don't know. It was weird because I would so, okay, at one point I got to the final cabin because you have to do 8 of these. After 8, then you technically beat the game. So I got to the final cabin and I thought it wasn't haunted, and I apparently it was. But then like after a while, I was just stuck on the first like 2 or 3 cabins because I just kept getting these same scares over and over again, or a situation where I saw nothing, no movement or anything like that, and it still said it was haunted. So I don't know what was going on there. Maybe the RNG just fucked me. But yeah, I think I ran into some kind of weird bug there. It's still early access. They're gonna add a bunch of other jump scares. I think this is only gonna get better. It's worth it, honestly. Well worth the money. It's what
when I play a game like that, I always say like, I've spent $5 on stupider shit than this.
Exactly.
This game's great.
I got at least 2 hours worth of gameplay out of this. I had a great time with it. It was fun.
It was great for the stream.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a break. That's enough for our hot steam. And when we come back, we will do our What Else You Got and finish out our episode.
Cool.
Be right back. Welcome to the What Else You've Got, the segment of our show. We can bring anything to the table, be it video game or otherwise. This week, I got some Christmas presents that I got to gloat about. Buck got me the Analog Pocket Dock.
Nice.
Fucking rocks my socks. If only because it's a great charger for the dock, because it charges it vertically. So now my Analog Pocket is just like standing on my desk all proud, like waiting for me to just reach over and pick it up and fucking play a game that I want to talk about right now, which I talked about on stream that I haven't gotten to talk about because we've been doing so much shit with the holidays. But Chess Master, for the Game Boy Color.
Cool.
This game kicks ass. It's like, Mac, don't you just mean that chess kicks ass? Yeah, I am saying that. But it's true. And Chess Master for the Game Boy Color, you got like 6 different color palettes that you can make your chess pieces. You got like 6 different like designs. So like, you know, one of them just like regular looking chess pieces. And then one of them, they look like animals. And then one of them, they look like whatever. So you can pick any combination of color and design you want. And then you get to play chess on the toilet. You get to play chess while you're waiting in jury duty. You get to play chess, you know what I mean? And it's just like, chess is such a thing where you're just like, if you know the rules, you really don't have like, you know, there's no text to read. There's no stats to pay attention to. It's the easiest / hardest turn-based game that I can think of. And sometimes I just want to fucking play chess without fucking carrying a chessboard around. You know what I mean? Like I want to play chess without being like, let's go sit on the living room table and bust out all the pieces and fucking, you know what I mean? It's like instead,
the dog ran over the board.
I mean, yeah, right, exactly. Or just challenging someone to chess, and it's just like maybe they're not similar in skill level to you, so it's just like not challenging. Yo, I am on the second difficulty of this game because that's the difficulty that the cartridge was on when I picked it up. It's like there's like baby mode and then like toddler mode, and I'm on toddler mode and I'm getting my ass kicked every single time.
Nice.
I've played this fucking game in chess
Interesting.
so much, and there's something to now. I'm like, well, now I gotta beat it because this fuck you. You think you're smarter than me? You think you're smarter than me? Game Boy Color game from 1990 fucking.
No,
you think you're smarter than me?
Busted smart, I bet. Chess has its own set of strategies and rules that I just don't understand. I'm pretty good at puzzles. I'm pretty good at board games. I'm pretty good at critical thinking. I am not good at chess because it just has its own set of rules and strategies.
But I'm getting smarter. I'm getting closer and closer every time I play. The only downside to the game is every time you do a move, it goes be-do-do, and then when the opponent moves, it goes do-do-do, and it's so loud, and there's no music besides that. And so you're just trying to play chess, and then just I just play it with no volume. I'm like, I can't.
Can't you just turn the volume off?
Yeah, I turned it off.
And music would just be distracting too, so you don't want music.
Maybe I get if it has some nice music. I mean, Tetris has music, and I love that shit. But yeah, and then when you put them into check or checkmate, it goes check or checkmate.
Bury me with my money.
Yeah, apparently it's this Merlin character saying it. But yeah, man, Chessmaster has been the handheld game I've been playing the most. I just because now I want to fucking beat this computer so badly in chess. It can't be that hard. Yeah. So the other one I was gonna say, even though we're short on time, is Buck got me Lorcana, which is the thing that I mentioned earlier when I said that this thing is like just varied enough from the thing that it's ripping off to be like its own thing. And Lorcana is the Magic the Gathering-esque collectible card game that is Disney themed.
Made by Ravensburger.
Yeah. And it's got just different enough mechanics to where my brain is legit like, oh, I don't know exactly how to play this yet. Like, I understand it shares some mechanics with Magic, but there's like getting the rhythm of attacking versus doing this thing called questing. It's like going, oh, I got to play a couple more games before I think I understand what's going on. It's pretty cool.
Thought process is different.
I like it a lot. So I've been playing with my girlfriend. It's really cool. If you can play Magic, you could play this. And probably
this is easier.
This is easier.
If you're an old Magic player, back when Magic had way less rules, like all you had was like banding and walls.
Much easier. Buck, what else have you got for us this week?
I've got two. One is the new Kill Team set came in. Brutal and cunning.
I saw those orcs look very,
literally
very, very
has
nice.
Orcs and hobbits.
Literal hobbits.
Space have a game later today. I got my orcs all done.
Nice.
I can't put it closer to the camera; it'll get blurry.
You got to put it by your head.
It can see.
Looks pretty sick.
Yeah. Thanks. They turned out pretty good. I tried a different color scheme, like different coloring on their skin this time, and I liked how it turned out a lot lighter. My other orcs are a little more cartoony, but it's cool. It's an Orcs Elite team, which if we play Kill Team means it's like literally a 6-man tough as nails, Space Marine level tough as nails almost orcs. So
yeah, melee focused.
Looking forward to that. And I got one more. And it's my Christmas present that I got from Mac. He gave a donation to the Video Game Historical Foundation, which is super cool. They're doing great work with keeping records of video game magazines and lost games and prototypes and demos and everything else that will be lost to time if someone doesn't take care of this stuff. Really, and then we're gonna be like, it'd be like when Rome burned and we lost all of these books. Like, do we really want that to happen to this?
That's
media?
Really true, actually. Yeah.
I mean, sure, they lost all of that stuff to time forever. Like, if it might not sound that big of a deal, but if there's an early prototype version out there that what's his name from Rare provided of that pirate game that they never made, that was going to be a follow-up to the Banjo-Kazooie games, it's like, keep that. Belongs in a museum.
Yeah.
Right. Mac got me this for donating.
Cool.
It's a really cool print from UFO 50.
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool. That's
Play
so
forever.
sick.
That's pretty neat. And
it shows,
Emily,
the two characters on the menu screen. Playing the LX.
And
they've got Mooncat down there, and they're playing Waldorf's
terrible
Journey or whatever it's called. Play forever.
Emily already found a frame here for it, so I'm going to frame it.
Fuck yeah. Me and Buck ran through 4 UFO 50 games on Christmas.
We cherried Seaside Drive, right?
Cherried Seaside Drive, cherried Bushido Blade. beat Ninpek in like 2 tries and Alphazar's hat in like 2 tries.
Yeah, we beat the boss in Ninpek. We got to the freaking boss at the end and got to
he was telling me that's wild.
We got into part of the second loop where it's hard in the second loop.
Yeah, they add more enemies on the second loop, like new ones that weren't there ever on the first loop. Cool. So it was just like, oh my fucking God, more guys to think about. That was so fun. That was so fun to do. Raph, what else have you got for us this week?
Well, I went back home for Christmas, and my sister got me something that I'm very happy about. Anybody who owns a Switch knows that they're fine to play, handheld, but if you got big hands, it starts to hurt after a while. Those little Joy-Cons are kind of painful.
I don't even have big hands, and they suck.
So I got this thing.
Yes, I have those
dude,
too. They are wonderful.
Has made, dude, I can play Balatro for fucking hours with this. It's amazing, dude. Like it feels really good. You got like these really nice joysticks on here. They light up. Man, I don't know, man. It makes playing games on the Switch handheld so much easier. I feel like I'm going to be playing more handheld games. And to like celebrate, I ended up picking up a little game called Crow Country on here.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I started playing that the other night, and it's pretty spooky for a game that's kind of cute. It's really, really good. I had a lot of good fun with it. The other thing that I got for Christmas, man, I don't even know. I stuck it over there. You know what? It's fine. It's a photo book. But this photo book is like action figures, so like Star Wars action figures and stuff like that. But they're put into like this person, I guess, like the guy's name is like Daniel Picard or something like that. But it's all photos that he's taken of the real world and then kind of worked in like through Photoshop, gotten these action figures in the scenes. So
it's the guy I'm thinking of. He actually creates small dioramas of all of this stuff.
He might.
Like,
they're
it's
really
not
good.
a
That
real
would be
world.
miraculous.
I've seen. Tell. You know what? I'm gonna go grab it. Hold on.
There's this dude I've seen on Instagram somewhere else that does this, and he'll take like the Ninja Turtles and he'll put like Donatello sitting in the corner of a pizza parlor playing a Game Boy, and everything around him is all miniatures.
That might be what Raph's like. Yeah, because they had like Spider-Man at the laundromat or something, like a stormtrooper ordering Chinese food. And
right,
it was just
exactly.
Like, whoa,
yeah, that kind
wait
of
a
thing.
minute.
Like this is like Darth Vader like working in like a shop or something like that. Like they're all action
right, like a welding
figures.
shop.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or like the Joker at like a carnival or whatever. And these are all action figures if you look at the photos, but
yeah,
pretty cool. Honestly, I didn't expect it.
What's the name? What does it say, the artist?
Yeah, it's Daniel Picard. Yeah, Daniel Picard. It's called Figure Fantasy, and it's all just action figures and cool situations.
Wow.
Pretty gnarly little book.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I got.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, that's perfect timing because this is the end of our episode. The back half, the tail. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening or watching, which I call watching. Do us a huge favor, like and subscribe wherever you're watching this. And if you are just listening to this and not watching it, may I suggest that you head on over to our YouTube channel so you can watching our live streams Wednesday through Sunday. I almost said Wednesday through Thursday. You can reach out. You can also reach out to us via email with any questions or comments that you want answered on the show, any games you want us to play at gametreasurepodcast@gmail.com. Make sure to go check out our merch store and our Patreon, where we have, by this time, put up our very first piece of Patreon content, which is part 1 of our 5-part series, deep diving into UFO 50. It's an hour and 40 minutes long almost, and it was cool as hell.
I tell you what, guys, not to toot Max horn too much, but he did really good deep dive research so that you don't have to really learn about the making of these games and the developers behind it.
You like UFO 50? You'll like this. We talk about everything about all the games, at least the first row.
I'm just going to say it's low-key my favorite episode that we worked on, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. So pay for it, bitches.
Yeah,
then finally, you can find our merch store. By this time, we've also dropped a couple of new pieces of merch. You got the King of Video Games shirt. You got the Select Your Host TMNT TGTP shirt and coffee mug.
Yeah.
You can find links to all that stuff at our link tree at linktree/thegtp. Lastly, we want to thank Crunkwitch for the use of our theme song, Clash of the Droids. And of course, none of this would be possible without RetroGameTreasure.com, owned and operated by the Megabuck himself. Retro Game Treasure is a subscription service that takes the hassle out of collecting retro video games. That's right. Every month, you will be sent a bespoke box of retro video games that is specifically selected to fill out your retro video game collection. How does it work? Well, when you become a subscriber at RetroGameTreasure.com, you fill out your personal profile settings, which tell Retro Game Treasure what video game consoles you collect for, and a more opaque sort of thing, what kinds of games that you like. You select things like genres, so things like ratings. You want E for everyone games, or do you mind them, I should say? Do you mind getting adult games, these sorts of things? And then every month, this beautiful box that looks like it's the Legend of Zelda, right? Yeah,
treasure chests. Yeah,
yeah. The Legend chest comes, and you open it up, and it'll be filled with like 3 to 5 games for the systems that you have. And he keeps track of your collection, so there'll never be repeat games. There'll always be games that you open up and go, "Oh snap! It's Crash Bandicoot! I didn't have this!" And then they're always refurbished, so you can just take it right out of that CD and then put Crash Bandicoot in your PlayStation 1 and then turn that bitch on and start playing Crash Bandicoot immediately. And you didn't have to go to the store and hope that they have it. You didn't have to pay for the markup because they have to have employees that sit at the counter and pick their boogers while no one's buying video games. Just go to www.retrogametreasure.com today to do yourself a favor and start collecting games the easy way. Today! Buck, hit me with your list of new subscribers for
this week. We welcome Jason Nowaporski, Christopher Driscoll, Sean Berry, Trenton Cheppel, and Adam Hensley.
Thank you guys so much for subscribing. It means a lot. Till next week, my name is Max Stein, and I love the Game Treasure podcast. It's so bad.
It is so bad.